What's going on? Nobody's on here yet. I thought I'd go live on this channel because I haven't done anything on this channel for a very long time, and I didn't really know how YouTube would treat me. I had no idea, but it looks like there's a bunch of people coming in. What's going on? So apparently we're all still connected even on the second channel here. So that's pretty cool. I thought I'd pop on here because I haven't put any videos out, but I will. I will start doing that again. Where's the videos been? I know that's a common question. There's a couple of people getting mad. I did explain on my last live last Saturday night. Thank you, Shannon. That I won't be putting videos out for a while. So I hope you guys understand. It's just that time of year for me. Last year around this time, if you remember, my son Ryan, he did like some recap videos, which helped me. He kind of bought me some time in this little time period, so I could get the business done that I needed to get done. We set up that home show. You guys saw the video with Eric. Today, Eric put his video out. So you guys saw us doing that. I've been working at the home show. I've been doing sales. I don't know if you can tell. You can't really see. But I cleaned my entire office. That was a big project. I reorganized. I'm scheduling. I'm getting ready. I've sold enough work, I think, to get past the 4th of July now. So we're doing good with sales. So yes, very busy. I've said this before, but when the priority is business, it's just I have to focus on it. But we're going to start working. You guys know once we start working, the videos are going to be steady. At least 3 a week. That's what I always do. So the big news, Logan. I'm not going to say that yet. I'm going to make a video. I've actually been thinking about how I'm going to make the video, but I promise this next week I will put out a video and I will explain uh, the big deal. It's kind of tricky to explain because it's very exciting for me. It'll be exciting for you all too, but it's not as exciting for you as it is for me. So I have to kind of present it in a way where you guys will find it. I know you guys will find it interesting, but I just want to do it right. I like to try to do everything right. All right, so uh, D Jizzle said, "Wow." He said, "Did you clean your office or did somebody else do it?" I clean my office. I'm the only one that can because there's a lot of stuff in here and I can't just put it anywhere. It has to be somewhere where I can find it. So I did clean the office myself. You gonna make a new intro for your videos? Yes, I will. Um, I'll probably have my son do that again. My mom is doing good. Somebody asked how my mom is doing. She's helping me at the home show. She works the booth. We kind of switch off. She's been working more than I have actually, but we do switch off. We go back and forth. So the show was last weekend, and then it started Wednesday, and then it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then tomorrow I'm back there again on Sunday. Tomorrow is the end of the home show. It's a long home show. It's the longest home show I know of. And then Monday, Eric and I will go back there to clean up the home show, put everything back away for the year. Ed, yes, my mom loves the new car. She's just happy that she has something reliable to drive. She's loving it. Francisco, well, that's interesting. Um, I can't say too much about this right now, but Francisco is injured right now. So him starting with us when we start is in doubt right now because his injury is um, I don't think it's super severe, but it's pretty bad to where he might miss the first little bit of work. I'm not sure. He'll have more information from the doctors pretty soon, in a week or so. Matthew Talbot, there's a shout out. Thanks for joining. Appreciate that. Retro J, how's it going? What did Eric do to him? No, he got hurt at work actually. That's why I can't like give you too many details because that's obviously a different employer. It has nothing to do with me. Nice moonwalk. Yes. Raise your hand if you listen to like I'm older. I'm ancient. Some of you are as older than I am, but Michael Jackson back in the day, break dancing, all that. Learn the moonwalk from the man himself. Way back when. We do not do work in Madison. I'm sorry, Parallel Pictures. We're just southeast Wisconsin, and I've been considering this because the amount of leads I'm getting is has been much more than I can handle. I'm actually considering not this year, but next year, if things are still as good as they are, I'm going to shrink my work radius even smaller. Uh, the more you can, shrink that radius, the more efficient you're going to be, the more money you're going to make instead of just time on the road. Thank you. When am I taking the Mustang drifting? The Mustang. Um, we have a place not too far from here. Um, and I'm going to check out some drifting and start talking to those guys this year. I really want to do at least do some ride-alongs. So I've been invited to go to it's called Drift Indy. Somebody from Facebook. We've been going back and forth a couple times. We went back and forth. It's not like we're friends or anything, but he said I could come to this event and he'd get me plenty of ride-alongs, which would be good enough for me to get started. All right, just reading some of your questions here. Tennessee here, no snow plows in sight. It's been snowing on and off. Last Saturday we had like 5 inches of snow. Um, might be time to buy a farm like all the other big YouTubers. No, there's no farms in on my horizon. So, what's the thickest slab you ever poured? I think probably just about 9 inches. I don't think I've done anything thicker than 9 inches, and that's city work in Milwaukee. You're gonna be doing your driveway this year. So Hunter, I'm gonna do some additions to my driveway because one of my other daughters is getting a license. So there's gonna be another car in the driveway. If you see my driveway, it's always packed. There's no more room. I'm making a muddy mess, even just parking where I am now. So once we get another car, I'm gonna create a couple more spots. I won't do the whole driveway. I'm just gonna add on. I gotta save some money this year, and I got to be frugal at least until July and beyond, actually. And I'll explain that in the upcoming video about the news. Lots of stuff here. Last season for Eric this year with victory. I'm not really sure. That's going to be more up to Eric and his progress. I would like to see him kind of take that route. Maybe this year be the last year with me and then go out completely on his own next year. But we'll see if he's ready. If he feels he's ready, if he has enough work and has all of his business stuff in order. I think he could probably do it. His YouTube's doing really good too, so that's going to be a big help for him. Meet and greet this year. Yeah, we'll do the same thing we did last year. I think that was in August where we met up in Eagle, Wisconsin. The police department invited us out, so we'll probably do that again. I did not. Somebody asked here, did you get the Mac back yet? I didn't get the Mac back yet, but I should be getting it back any day. I went and saw it pre-paint, so the box is on. They fixed everything. It's looking really good. So it's in paint right now. Once it gets painted, that's going to be it. So as fast as they can paint it, I'll get it back. I'm expecting to get it back next week, so I'll definitely make a video show you guys that. Even with the box unpainted, it looks really good compared to what it looked like before. How much do you charge to plow a driveway, Billy? I don't really plow individual driveways. Pretty much all the driveways that I plow are either part of a condo association or they're owned by a larger group. I think around here, I don't think anybody plows driveways for under $50. So storms. There was no storm damage. There was a tornado to the south of here in Elkhorn, so that is southwest of here, I guess. The line of storms was coming, but it kind of broke up right as it got like towards my area. So we got some thunder and lightning and some really heavy rain, but we didn't get anything serious. How do you like the new mechanic, Kyler? He's really good. I wish I would have found him earlier before he went into business. I could have convinced him to come and work for me full time. But I'm happy for him. He's going to do really good on his own. The Mustang is in storage right now. I got it out of my winter shop because it was getting really dirty and dusty. Did you get some leads from the home show? I did get a bunch of leads. So this is just a, I don't want to show anybody's names or anything here, but this is one stack, and I have beyond this, I don't know if I counted them, I probably have like 60 to 65 leads from the show, and we still have tomorrow to go. And whatever my mom brings, I think she said, I don't know, she texted me today, and I think she said 12, 15. She got 15, and that was a couple hours ago. So, yeah, it does really good. Nope, not coming to California, not anytime soon. How's the concrete supply chain? I think you mean the cement. The cement right now, I think we're going to be fine in the spring. I did get a price increase for concrete. I was kind of expecting that. It was a hefty increase. And at that time, they also let me know to expect another increase in July. So um, it's going to be like a 15% increase for the year, which is it's a pretty steep increase. But as of right now, they have cement, and I'm not expecting anything until later in the year if there is a shortage or a problem. I think we'll be okay for a while. Price per yard, let's see. I'm going to be mid 150s this year, maybe 160 by beyond that second price increase. Logan said, when is your season going to start? A little less than 2 weeks. We're going to start. Why no videos this week, William? I explained that a little earlier in the stream, and I explained it in my last live too. You never mention your dad. Do you not talk to him? Chad, I have a really good relationship with my dad and my stepmom. He was in a couple of my videos, the meetup video, he was in that. And then I stopped at his house and chatted with them. No, me and my dad have a great relationship, actually. Are you going to wrap your mom's car? No, no, my mom definitely does not want her car wrapped. You got to remember that's her car now. It's not my car. So I gave it to her as a gift, and she wouldn't just decide to wrap her car. She likes to be low profile. Grandma's here. I thought about some cool wraps. I honestly did, but I would no. Love the moonwalk. I used to dance and stuff when I was like a young, like 11, 12, 13 years old. I used to dance. Yeah, some of you guys are funny. Where's the Crown Vic? The Crown Vic is sitting outside the winter shop right now. I'll show it in the next video. I'll put out a couple videos this next week for sure. Are you still hiring more people? El Jefe asks. If I can find another CDL driver, I'm thinking about it. But I have I have the crew that I need right now. Everybody's coming back. Francisco throws a little bit of a wrench in the thing because I really wanted to start out like pretty fast. I wanted to start pouring a bunch of concrete right away. Obviously, it's going to be weather dependent, but not having Francisco throws a little bit of a wrench in things because the new truck driver that I have, he's totally ignorant when it comes to concrete. He's never done it at all, so it's going to take some time to train him. When I had Daryl, he was familiar with everything, so it's kind of starting from scratch. $5,000 profit average per job. No, no, I don't make $5,000 every job. You do make it on some jobs. The size of my jobs vary. I mean, I will do a $5,000 job total, so it varies greatly. What happened to Franny? He got injured, so it's not going to be like a long term injury. I just don't know. He doesn't know at this point, so it is going to be a little bit though. So Trav, I hope you just heard me say that. You asked that again. So he's got a little injury right now. What's up, Australia? Dominic, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate that. Do you have any experience hanging sheetrock? Yeah, some. I've never worked with pros, um, but yeah, I've put up quite a bit of drywall. Actually, my office here, I did all this, and at my last house, I completely remodeled the basement, so there was a whole bunch of drywall work I did there, and then some various other things. I'm not a pro, but I mean, I'm decent at it. It's just kind of natural, like taping and all that. It's pretty natural when you're good with a trowel to get things flat and smooth. It's really it's pretty simple if you're a finisher to get in a drywall. Wrapping the new concrete buggy, no, probably not. Will you use the Duramax this concrete season, Frank? I'll really only use it if I need it. There's a few things I want to do to the F-350. So if I take that in, obviously the Duramax will come and pull the mesh trailer with the buggy. So it'll get used some for sure. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate that. Say hi to Arlen, Joshua, and Micaiah. What's going on, guys? The Schusters. Your last name is hard to say. Hope I didn't mess that up. The Schusters. How's Ryan Jr. doing? He's doing really good. He is on spring break with a couple of his friends in South Carolina right now, but he's doing really good. Jacob, thank you very much. I told the guys at work just because I seen your videos that I'm a professional concrete layer now. It's not quite that easy, but it would help. You let Junior come back to help you. I said that on my last live, but he's welcome to come in anytime that he wants. I don't think that he will because he usually just kind of hangs around his dad. But if he would, I would pick him up and bring him in. Absolutely. Actually, believe it or not, Bugs called me and he said if Junior wants to come in, I'll pick him up. That surprised me, but I think Bugs will miss him too. Honestly, he's a good kid, good guy to have around. I keep calling him a kid. He's not a kid. He's like 28 years old. The buggy wrap could say concrete's here. I should get some stickers. You're right. Okay, last time, what size forms width-wise to get 5 inches? Concrete, it looks like 2x4s. So when you use 2x4 forms, you can still pour concrete 5 inches. So you run a string from 2x4 to 2x4. So you're only looking at the thickness of the very edge. And when you grade, you scrape a little lower than the 2x4 and you get your 5 inches. Sometimes people question that, like, how can you get 5 inches with a 2x4? It's very simple, actually. Shane asks, what did you buy at Hobby Lobby? I think we spent like 50 some dollars. One of my daughters had a gift card. They got some picture frames and some jewelry, I think, like something like that. But, gotta get the girls what they want. Shane asked that because I put a little post on Facebook when I was in Hobby Lobby tonight with two of my daughters. It's really not my favorite. I don't hang out in Hobby Lobby, but I sacrifice for my daughters. Thank you, Shane, for asking that. How do you price out a job? GB asks. So concrete work is priced by the square foot. Driveways are a little bit different price than sidewalks. Obviously, sidewalks are more expensive. Patios are kind of in the middle. And then if you have specialty things like stoops and steps, I used to have a formula. I don't really use a formula anymore for stoops and steps, honestly. I pretty much just look at the stoop and I know what to charge. I've done it so many times. I know how long it's going to take. I know how much work it is, if it needs post hole footings, if anything's different or special about it. So those type of things like stoops and steps, I just know what to charge from experience. But everything else, I still calculate by the square foot. The bids for this season are going very well. I've had a lot of people sign up on the spot. A lot of people signing up soon after. So things are going really well. I explained a little bit earlier that I think I am past the 4th of July, maybe even towards the end of July with sales right now. So great start. We got plenty of work. I'm not concerned about having enough work for this season. I'm getting tons of leads. People are calling and emailing. I have the show leads, so we are good for this season. I don't really feel comfortable selling any farther than the end of July right now. I don't want to sell it for the whole season because you just never know about all your price increases. Just even a couple months in advance is a very comfortable place to be for us as contractors. If you're 2 months ahead in sales, you can kind of breathe easy. If you only have like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of work, then you better be busy working on your marketing. Somebody asked, what is a typical warranty for concrete work? So I do not have a written warranty. There's no written warranty. However, your warranty is your reputation. So you don't just ignore people if they have a problem. If people call with a problem, even if their job is a year or 2 or 3 years old, if they call you and they have a serious problem, you have to take care of it. Or your reputation can get dinged, it can be damaged. Sometimes it can be severely damaged if somebody really wants to take it out on you. If you get a Karen or a Kevin that just wants to punish you. So you got to take care of your customers. And I do have one right now. It's 2 years old. She called, emails back and forth. It's already to the stage where she had, a third party come in and try to figure out what the problem was. And he gave his opinion, and she wants to meet with me and Schmitz on site to talk about it. So there's a chance that there's a lawsuit coming down the pike for me, because we're going to differ in opinions. She has in my opinion, it's very minor. I think in any reasonable person's mind, it'd be minor. But I think she's heading for like a full replacement of the driveway, which I'm not going to agree with. So that may head to court. We'll see. Do you like foundation work, and why no power trowel? So we really don't get into foundations, although I have in the past when I used to work for other people. I did a lot of foundations, block laying, and so forth. Power trowels are really reserved for inside work. Here in Wisconsin, we have like terrible weather, a lot of freeze-thaw cycles, so power trowels are bad on the surface of concrete. It can lead to scaling of the concrete. And if you power trowel a driveway and it scales, you're going to be responsible for that driveway no matter what, because you're not supposed to use them. And you did. You did something wrong. Who's more in shape for the season, you or Eric? Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, um, one being the most out of shape that I've ever been starting a season, I'm a number one. And I think if you would ask Eric, he would give you the same answer. I'm a little worried about the beginning of the season. It's going to be rough. Last season, I was out of shape going in, and it was hard. And I'm even a little bit worse than I was last spring. So it's going to be tough. I'm going to be sore. I'm going to struggle for a little while, but I'm looking forward to it because once you start like burning calories every day, it's a lot easier to get back in shape. We'll be all right, though. What was the previous customer complaining about? I can't actually talk about that because of what I said. It could be headed for court, and I'm not going to like explain any details, give any clues who it is or anything like that. When you go to court, like everything that you ever say online or anywhere could be brought up and used against you. So you have to be super, super careful. I was just in court for another business. It wasn't my case; it was his case, but I had to testify, and there was 4-inch thick binders sitting in front of me when I went on the stand, and it was all evidence. It was all evidence prepared by attorneys for the case, and it is every detail of everything that you could possibly think of from the beginning of the situation until that day. It's crazy. So you got to be super careful, and always make sure that you have written documentation of everything. When I go back and forth with people, it's always text message or email because you want a record of everything that's ever been said. I never talked once it gets like serious, don't talk to them on the phone. It's completely pointless. Go back and forth with email so you have it in writing. Be very careful. How did you meet your wife? So I met my wife in high school. My friend, she didn't go to my high school, but she was neighbors with one of my best friends that did go to my high school. So he had a get together at his house, and they knew each other. And her friend came over, and that's how we met. And we stayed together ever since. She was a junior, and I was a senior in high school. We've been together ever since. When is your first job? 2 weeks. What do you suggest for advertising? Advertising, you guys, I've mentioned and you've seen that I do the home shows. Obviously, it's good to have your crew wear the same gear. I think that is good advertising, believe it or not, because people see you and you're automatically perceived as professionals, even if you're not. People will think that you are. Job signs are really important. Obviously, Facebook ads are a good route nowadays. The neighborhood apps like Nextdoor, people use those a lot now, so get on those. Those are all good ways of advertising, none of them being super expensive. And then you can also like last resort, you can do door hangers or whatever. If you're just getting started, you got to get work somewhere, and that's really cheap. What's up, Brendan Hedge? Good to see you're here. Big dog, you might be onto something, but I can't talk about that right now. Will you ever shave your beard? Sure. If I ever hit 1 million subscribers, I'll shave my beard. So there you go. That's going to be a long time, if ever. So I'm not too worried about that. Are there stamped concrete jobs lined up? Yes, William, there are stamped concrete jobs lined up. And I do have a wooden stamp job coming up, which I just signed a couple days ago. He wants wood plank and he wants I forget what it's called, old barn beam stamp or whatever. It's a Proline stamp. And I'm going to buy it. So that's going to be cool. I have some other stamp jobs too. Talking about lawsuit here, Ryan, just wanted to say hi. Thank you, Manny, and tell you that a lot of things happen in a second since the last time I made a live stream. I broke my leg at work. Life can change in a second. Manny, you're right about that. You can't take anything for granted. Cynthia, what's going on? Happy birthday, Jeremy. Cynthia, I hope you did something special and got him a gift. Happy birthday, man. That's awesome. But yeah, things can change. You can't take anything for granted. Um, that's why you got to be careful you don't fall in love with your business. Some people choose to love their business and it can be gone like that. Like everything can change your health in a day. You get diagnosed with something or a family member. I always have it in the back of my mind, and it helps you to be thankful for every single day, realizing that things could be a lot different for you. So every day you're blessed, you give thanks. That's how I live. Old barn plank. You could be right, Tony. I think you're right. But it's a newer stamp that Proline came out with, and it looks really cool. I'm looking forward to doing it. The problem is they wanted to look like old grayed out wood, and I'm unsure about the colors to use. So I'm going to check in with a couple of my friends that are stamped concrete experts to see if they've ever done anything like that, so I can get the right colors for them. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really cool. I also got those form liners this year. I bought from Decocrete, so I'm going to try some form liners. We're going to try some new stuff this year. So it'll be cool. Can you do a free patio at 1 million subs? Mike, I've been looking for people to do work for a long time, for the last 2 years. And I can't, it's really hard to find people that are in genuine need of help around here. And I know that sounds funny because it just seems like there would be all kinds of people that need help, and you could find somebody that could really use a new patio or a sidewalk or what. It's not easy. It's nearly impossible. I've been trying, and I've had people look for me, and we can't find anybody. But if I ever do, I will do that. I want to do that. It's just a matter of organizing that and finding the right person. So Noah says, what are your thoughts on hand controls in the Bobcat? Do you love it or hate it? Neither, I would say. Um, I prefer hand and foot controls. It's what I grew up on. It's what I've been using for a long time. Uh, Cliff says, give us a shout out. Cliff, I don't know if you're connected to Husqvarna or not, but you have their logo there. So shout out to Husqvarna or Cliff, one or the other. Uh, but back to the Bobcat, it's really just your preference. There's nothing wrong with either one. It's what you like. I just feel, you say you feel more connected with hand controls. I actually feel more connected to the machine with hand and foot controls. I sense that you can get a better feel for what the machine is doing because you're not going through electronics. You're actually feeling the hydraulics. Sean, thank you very much. Jacob, um, thank you very much. I appreciate you. He said he appreciates me. How's the Big Mac Eric got you? Did he get me a Big Mac or a cheeseburger? I don't remember. He got me something. I've been eating terrible. Um, not good. Not good. Can you do more shorts on how to do concrete like you when you? Yeah. So I am gonna once we get into our season, Ryan Jr. is he's gonna work with me with us this summer, May 15th, and Autumn will be with us May 15th. So we're gonna put out. I'm gonna put out as many videos and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and Facebook and all that as much as I can while I have them around to help. Um, that'll be fun. Thank you, Brendan. So my website for the new merchandise is done. It's ready to go, but I'm not ready to go. All I have to do is get the stuff. My embroidery shop is not done with it yet. And then I have to figure out a way that I'm going to ship it all. So last couple things, and then that will be ready to go. But the website is completely ready. All they have to do is press go. Why did you start YouTube? Really enjoy your videos. Um, I started YouTube for a couple different reasons. One is that I saw an open door because there was nobody doing YouTube videos in our genre, in a vlog style, an entertaining style. And I saw that and I knew that there was an open door where somebody could go in there and be successful. Second reason is I'm a creative person and creating videos is it's a great way it's a great outlet for your creativity and I really enjoy it. That's why I like editing. I don't have time for it, so it's like I have a love-hate relationship because when I'm done I enjoy the videos, I like the creativity. It's just a time thing for me. But so a couple of different reasons why I started YouTube, and I am committed now to YouTube long term. So I'll be around for as long as you guys are around. If the popularity fades off, and honestly, most channels do. Most channels don't last forever. Um, we'll see what happens, but I want to keep switching things up, introduce new things, and you guys know we got the shop and we got kind of like hopefully performance builds and car content. I have a lot of things, and then this new news that I'm going to share with you guys next week. That's going to throw a whole new dynamic into it. So you're always thinking of ways to keep things fresh. And honestly, my life is there's always something going on. So I don't really think it's ever going to get boring, but you never know. If it does and people fade away, it is what it is. I'll always have my business. So I've had my business for a long time and I'll have it for a longer time. So either way, I don't have a sales rep, Adam. So I was kind of looking and I met one guy and he might have worked out, but I just didn't feel like he was the perfect fit. So I never really found the right guy, honestly. So I just decided to do what I've always done and sell the jobs myself. So, like for instance, if I would have had a salesman, I would have been making videos over the last week. I haven't put out a video for over a week. I don't know how long it's been, over a week now, and it's because I'm doing sales. And I'm doing the show, and it's just the way that it is. Does pop? Somebody asked about film work pouring a tower foundation. Foundations are not interesting to watch being poured. Just footings or poured walls. That stuff isn't so interesting as flat work or some other, topics because you're basically just pouring concrete into a hole or abscess. There's no artwork or, there's not a lot of skill that's being shown to everybody. Will the new skid steer be on the job sites this year? Billy, only when the T320 breaks, which I'm pretty confident it will break this year. It breaks every year. Something goes wrong, even if it's just a hose or whatever. Obviously, with skid loaders, especially older ones, they break. So definitely the New Holland will be on the job sites this year. It's just waiting right now. What do you think of Eric's? Excuse me, by the way. What do you think of Eric's new dump truck? When are you going to start moving your snow equipment into storage? Tom, not anytime real soon. It snowed today. It didn't stick, but it was snowing today. It's way too early for that. I have not seen Eric's new dump truck, so I really don't have any opinion on that. Um, so we'll see. Do you build Versalock walls? Usually we use county materials. I don't know if they're nationwide or just around here, but we use their in-house or their own. They manufacture their own blocks, so they have different styles, different sizes and colors. So I've never used Versalock. Who's going to hold the truck up? Maybe me, Brian, because I am a little on the hefty side right now, a little chubby. Probably need some breaks. Chris, thank you very much. When's the next video? I answered that a couple of times, but I'll make a couple videos for this next week. I do have one footage to make one video, and I'm going to make a video about the news I've been talking about as well, and then we'll see what happens after that. Has the YouTube channel helped increase sales? So this year, I will say yes, it has, because several of the people that I've done bids for have recognized me, and I think there's a real confidence that comes when they recognize me because they've seen me pour so much concrete on YouTube. So yes, this year it's helped. Last year it didn't seem to help at all. Even towards the end of the season when the channel had grown, it just didn't really seem to help much. Not a lot of people recognize me, but it has seemed to help a little bit so far this spring. I have not poured any concrete this year, not for myself anyway. Lamont, thank you very much. Will you get a 360? No, I don't think that I will. I had the GoPro 360. That's what I used all last year. So it had the 360 feature. I think you're talking about the Insta 360. It seems to be the hot thing right now. I've seen a lot of footage with it, and I explained this on the last live, but I'm just not a fan of the 360. It makes me dizzy watching the footage, just the angle and the swinging, and I don't know. I think I'm going to stick with what I got for now because if it makes me dizzy, it's going to make other people dizzy as well. So I think like the cameras that we have and the type of stuff that we do, um, I think it's pretty good already. I did get a new tripod. Um, it's an extreme tripod. I'll just leave it at that. I'll let you guys see from the very first job we're gonna probably use it. So I don't know, like what is an extreme tripod? Well, you'll see what it is. What do you think about volumetric concrete trucks? Not popular around here. There are a few. Um, volumetric trucks have limitations, and the limitation is the amount of material that they can hold. So we don't pour a ton under 10 yards, so anytime you're pouring more than 10 yards, the volumetric mixers are kind of out of the question because even if you can get a hold of one, you can only get a hold of one at a time. So that's why I don't think they're, really too popular around here. I know guys that are buying them are having some success, but you don't see them much around here. What is the name of the Carhartt boots that you buy? They are, let me think, they're the 4-inch wedge boot. So they're called the 4-inch wedge boot. And I don't know how you feel about Carhartt. I know during COVID and stuff, they made some decisions that irritated conservatives. Like, I get that. But those boots are really good. So the Carhartt 4-inch wedge boots, as of right now, they're my favorite boot. They're not super rugged. They're not going to last you all season or for like 2 years. If you really work, if you're an office guy, they'll last you forever. But as far as comfort, I haven't found anything more comfortable than the Carhartt 4-inch wedge boot for my feet. They're very light and they feel like a sneaker. Autumn is not engaged. She is not engaged. Why don't you do any commercial jobs? That guy Pork Chop asks. Um, I do a little bit here and there. Like last year, we did a parking lot, but I don't market for commercial jobs. I market for residential jobs. We're good at residential jobs. We're set up. We're structured. The guys are good at them. I'm good at them. I'm good at working with the customers. So for me, it's doing what you're good at. You're already efficient, um, and you do one after the other, and you can still make money on residential jobs. Commercial jobs can be boring as well. There's not a lot of creativity that can be expressed in most commercial jobs. They're parking lots and big floors. Like I would not want to pour commercial floor after commercial floor and jump on a rider or walk behind, and pour massive amounts of concrete and just finish them out every day. I would get very bored of that. I like shapes and designs and steps, elevation changes, fire pits, and all the cool stuff that makes jobs interesting to me. Look into the Brunt boots. So one thing I will say about Brunt is they've realized the power of social media. They are really the only boot company that I see regularly on social media. They're on TikTok, and I think I've seen them on Instagram a bunch. They actually reach out to me. They're reaching out. They've reached out. You've probably seen them advertised by other construction channels and guys. They reached out to me too. I just, never got back to them, whatever. A lot of people reach out to me, but I don't want to get into too much of that. But I applaud them for using social media. Uh, I feel like if they continue their marketing scheme, they're going to become a very large boot manufacturer and probably knock off some of the older brands because they're actually getting with the times, unlike these old, um, you know, archaic companies that just refuse to change. Cliff says, "When are you going to employ me?" Uh, really can't answer that question. Ryan's asked if we had any bad weather. I answered that a little earlier. We got a little bit of lightning and heavy rain, but we didn't get anything serious. There was a tornado southwest of here, but I didn't hear of anybody that lost their life or anything. I don't think it was terrible. Have you ordered a porta john for the yard? Thank you for reminding me. That is something that I need to do. Andy wore your victory hoodie today. Very impressive. So did I, of course. So Brian said, "Hey Ryan, he's from the great state of confusion, Ohio, close to Worcester, where we were. The Deco Creek show was in Worcester, Ohio." Ryan, will you fix those April Fool's hills in your backyard? I think you're talking about the sidewalk we poured. Nope, sidewalks stand, bumps and all. Solid Ground asks about exposed aggregate and how you keep it from curing with a white haze. I'm the wrong person to ask. I've done exposed aggregate, I don't know, just a handful of times in my entire career, and it's been a long time since I've done any. It's just not popular in Wisconsin. Nobody does it. You don't see it. The only time you see it is when you're taking it out, old stuff from like the 60s and 70s or whatever they used to do it. Favorite TV show? Big Daddy Dirk asks, "What's my favorite TV show?" There is not a single TV in my house. I don't know. I just don't feel like you need TV. You got YouTube. You can pretty much just search up anything you want to watch at any time. So as far as YouTube channels go, I've said this a bunch of times, but I like watching drag racing like Cletus McFarland, 1320 Video, some of the fishing channels, Scott Martin, Jacob Wheeler, those guys. I don't get to watch a lot, but those are the channels that I like to watch. I am still doing bids. Um, yes, I am. I have a lot of leads I'm trying to get through now. So if you've put in a request or whatever, it may be a while before I get to you. What advice do you give young men that feel lost in life? That is a very deep question with a very deep answer. One of these days I should give my testimony about how I became a Christian because I know what that feels like to feel lost in life. And even as a Christian, you can feel lost in life too. Life is tough, man. There's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of struggles, but that's a topic that I'm going to have to discuss at another time because it could be a long, long answer. I haven't watched TV in about 6 years. Street Rodder, yeah, like I said, man, social media. You can watch stuff on Facebook, watch whatever you want on YouTube. It doesn't even make sense to have a TV in the house. Plus, TV, honestly, it's just not good for kids. Um, I wouldn't let my kids sit down and just watch TV, whatever they wanted. My kids aren't on social media. My little kids will watch my videos and like animal videos, and we let them watch YouTube videos and stuff. But obviously, we put the videos on for them. So it's just not a good idea to just let kids wild on social media. That could be a total disaster for sure. Uh, The Fable asked, when did we get we were saved before we got married, my wife and myself. I was first when I was 20 years old, right before my 21st birthday. My wife the following year, and then we were married, I believe, the year after that. It's a lot of questions I can't answer. How do you know if the concrete truck brings the right yardage? Joe, you really don't. But the concrete company, they're going to bring you the right yardage. If you're consistently running out of concrete, obviously you're going to call them out. So they measure, they actually weigh the concrete truck. So that's how they figure out yardage is by weight. And a good concrete company is not going to cheat their contractors. It's just not going to happen. That could be a massive lawsuit and a stain on their reputation forever. That would be hard for a concrete company to come back from if word got out that they were cheating all of their customers and not putting the right amount of concrete in the trucks. It's just not going to happen with the reputable concrete places around here. All the concrete places around here, they're big companies, multiple plants. I know some of you live like way out in the boonies or whatever. There's like one concrete plant with three trucks or whatever. And I can't say anything about them, but the big companies, they just wouldn't do that. Thank you, Tundra Outdoors. Every time he sees a concrete truck, he says, "Concrete's here." So I'm looking forward to saying that for the first time. I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to say that extra loud on the first job. Somebody asked if I can talk about what chert means and what kind of concrete that I order. So when I say low chert, I'm talking about the type of aggregate in the concrete. The aggregate is the gravel that's in the concrete, basically, the stone. The stone that I order is low chert, so it's a limestone and it doesn't absorb water. So I specifically order low chert concrete, so the aggregate doesn't absorb water. It's a problem here in the Midwest because we get freezing weather, and if you have aggregate in the mix that absorbs water, it gets saturated with water, that stone, and then it freezes. That stone will expand, or the water will expand in the stone and actually bust the stone right in half. So that stone will break, and what's left then is a pit in the concrete. You've heard some people call them chirp. It's not chirp, it's chert pops. It's CHERT, chert pops. So you're left with those little chert pops, those little pockets. And if you look in those little divots on the surface of the concrete, you'll always see half of the stone. And that's the stone that froze and broke in half. So that's why I order low chert concrete up here in the north. It's vital for concrete that holds together. Why do all of your girls wear skirts? It's a hot topic of discussion. Why the ladies in my family wear skirts? They wear skirts because we are conservative. So my girls are not going to wear the yoga pants and what's popular in culture today. We're just an old-fashioned family. The girls are modest. They're not trying to show off to anybody. Um, that's just the way that we've decided as a family to live, is conservatively and old fashioned. I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's good. I think it's respectful. As a man, if you're honest with yourself, when you see some of the ladies and what they wear, it can be a real distraction. Just culturally, what's accepted right now, we're, I guess, counterculture. We are, like I said, we're old fashioned conservatives, and the girls in my family, they dress modestly. It's nothing that anybody has told us to do. Our church doesn't make us do that. It's not a rule. It's a choice that we have made. And I know it's kind of weird, considered strange nowadays that ladies dress like ladies. I think it's stranger now that I think people. It seems like more people question me, why my ladies dress like ladies, and they don't ask why men in our society dress like ladies. So I've always found that interesting. I think I get questioned more, why do the ladies in your family wear dresses? But nobody asks why all the men in our society are wearing dresses. I've always thought that was really interesting. That's a thought I've kept to myself until now. But if you think about it, there is something to that. All right, more H power. Quick explanation of hot loads and rejected loads, leftover loads. It's just about making money. So that can happen, of course, leftover concrete being left in the concrete truck and guys showing up and they have a hot load. So a concrete company could do that technically. If they're going back to the plant, say they pour a job, the contractor ordered 9 yards, he actually only used 7 yards. So the truck goes back with 2 yards and they just basically top them off and then send it to the next concrete contractor. Again, I know for sure that my company would not do that. They would not risk the integrity of the concrete and lawsuits because every concrete company has a batch plant operator, they have truck drivers. If any one of those gets fired, loses their job, or gets irritated at the concrete company, they will rat the concrete company out, and you're talking a massive potential lawsuit. Maybe even like a class action lawsuit from the contractors that they've given them, inferior product, or they just didn't give them what they paid for. It would be a huge risk to concrete companies. I can't say that it doesn't happen everywhere, but I do not believe that the concrete company that I use or any around here would do that. So, at what at what point did you decide? Swanky asked, "What let me back that up. This What point did you decide to start a company officially, and what were the benefits, liabilities you consider, like how much side work and stuff were you doing?" So that's basically what I did. Is I started out by doing side work. I kept my regular job until I had so much side work that I didn't have time for my regular job, and that's when I knew that it was time for me just to start working on my own. I was so young back then. I was like 20 years old or something. I was very young. So I had, just a high school education. None of my family members were in business. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't really have any direction. So to say that I considered the risks and all this stuff, I didn't really consider anything. All I knew is that I love concrete and I was getting a bunch of work and I was making more money on the side jobs than I was for my employer. And I knew I had what it took to start a business. I had the motivation, I had the drive and the hustle. And so that's just the way that it went. And everything worked out. And in business, just like everything else, if you don't know how to do something, if you just do it, you'll learn. You start talking to people and you learn about taxes, you learn about insurance, and you learn about everything. So you can start young. It's not like you got to have a business degree or know everything. You just jump in there and start doing it and learn as you go. That's what I did. There was no big, massive business plan. I was just a really young guy. Scott, thank you very much. If you worry too much about the risk, you'll never start a business. That's possible. That guy, Pork Chop, thank you very much. Are there concrete shortages still? I touched on that earlier, but as of right now, I think we're okay for the spring. This is what I've been told. All I can do is regurgitate what I've been told from the people that I talk to. But I think we'll be okay in the spring, and later on in the summer and in the fall, we could potentially run into the same thing we did last year, but nobody really knows. So everybody hedges. Everybody that you ask questions to, they all hedge, and that's why I hedge too. I can't give a direct answer because I don't know. Because everybody I ask, they're very cautious in how they answer. So that's all I can do is be cautious as well. I don't know for sure, but that's a possibility. Do you use fly ash mixes? I do not. So um, Joe, I'll answer your question in just a second. No, all my mixes are straight cement. I don't use fly ash in any of my mixes. Will the first job be live? Joe, it will not be live. So it's pretty difficult to do any kind of live on a job site. And the reason for that is the noise. The job sites are really loud. And when you're on your phone, everything is just, it's so loud. It'll blow your, if you're wearing If you're wearing these here or your earbuds, it'll just blow your eardrums off. When I edit a video, I am constantly bringing the sound down every time the machine comes through or the concrete truck rolls in. So doing a live, the sound is just so messed up. It's so loud. It would be terrible, honestly. I would love to. It would be fun, of course, but it doesn't work out. I tried it and it's just not good. Uh, Cabelco's Cabelco, we do use fiber mesh in the concrete. Yes. Fibercrete or standardcrete? I don't know if that's what you mean or not. I'm not familiar with that. But if you're asking if I use fiber mesh, yes, I use fiber mesh. Where do you put your tools, edgers, and broom? Broom goes in the cab on the dash because the bristles of the broom have to stay perfect. The very last thing that touches the concrete in the finishing process are the bristles of your finished broom. So you have to protect your bristles at all costs. So the broom head goes on the dash of the form truck. Nothing touches it. It lays flat. The rest of the edgers, the guys have their own buckets. I have a bucket as well. So normally 5-gallon pails, and everybody keeps their own pail. If you touch Bug's tools in his pail, he's not happy about that, even if it's an accident, if he leaves it laying out. So always pay attention to whose tools you're messing with. You're grabbing your own. uh, you could be right about that. Where do you buy your tools? Okay, somebody said, I think he meant buy your tools. So a lot of tools I buy from Lincoln Contractors. I bought a bunch of tools from Farrell Equipment. Um, those are really the two main places I get my finished tools: Farrell Equipment and Lincoln Contractor Supply. Do you furnish the hand tools for the crew? The guys get edgers from me. They have their own mags. They have their own trowels. The joiners are mine. So some of them yes, and some of them no. They bring their own hammers and their pouches as well. Somebody says I should run for president. No, thank you. The concrete business creates enough anxiety. How does Mike Day pour year round? Mike, he does not pour year round. He pours when it's colder than us. But a lot of the videos that you see in the wintertime are actually him pouring in the fall and in the spring and in the summer. So he doesn't do it like me where my videos come out like right after we do the job. Brandon, the moonwalk, the famous moonwalk. Yes, I've talked to Marcel since he left. Actually, I text back and forth with him on Thursday, and I talked to him once or twice since then as well. Are the old Mack trucks better than the new models, or is it a price thing? Dump trucks are extremely expensive. You can spend up to $300,000 on a brand new decked out quad axle dump truck. So somebody asked why I have an older dump truck. Not to mention, the older dump trucks don't have any emission stuff on them. So bottom line is, when you have a dump truck, you want to run that thing until it doesn't run anymore. Because buying a new dump truck, it's like buying a new house. And with the type of business that I have, we're not hauling. So that dump truck is not making the type of money that dump truck businesses or hauling businesses make with it, where they're hauling, their truck is running 8, 10, 12 hours a day and it's making money, day in and day out. And they can make those big payments on a 250 or $300,000 dump truck. That's why guys like me, smaller contractors, you're not going to see a lot or really any of them with brand new, busted out, chromed out dump trucks. You're just not going to see it. There's not that kind of money in residential concrete to be buying $250 and $300,000 trucks. Somebody said their triaxle Michael was $265,000. Yeah, I'm not kidding. 250 to $300,000. Concrete pumps, why are they not popular in your state? Bobby, we use limestone aggregate, and it is, it's good size limestone. It's very jagged and sharp, so it will not run through the trailer pumps. I know there's one other YouTuber that basically says if you don't have a pump, you're not a professional, or if you don't have a pump, you're not successful. You guys know who I'm talking about, the guy that shoots off his mouth that he's the best ever and he's the greatest and all that stuff. And all he has is a bunch of raggedy old equipment and a dump trailer. But anyways, that's why we don't use dump trailer, or I'm sorry, that's why we don't use pumps around here, the trailer pumps. They do use obviously the bigger pumps. It's mostly the commercial guys that use the big pump trucks, big boom trucks. Somebody says Quick Trip is getting rid of House Blend. Oh, thank you very much. It was an April Fool's. How is your F-150 made out in construction? Would you ever upsize? So, Greg, my F-150 is it's not really a construction truck. That's not why I bought it. That's more or less my personal vehicle. However, it is very handy. I pick stuff up with it all the time, just little stuff, boxes and some two by fours and plywood or whatever I need. It's not really a construction vehicle. I definitely would not recommend a half-ton pickup truck if you're going to use it for construction or if you're going to use it for heavy duty plowing. A half ton is just not heavy enough. I would definitely get at least a 3/4 ton truck. So the F-150, like I said, it was never meant to be like part of my fleet or a work truck. Will Mike be back this year? Tanner, more than likely not. I've mentioned this before, but Mike is doing really good. I think he's going to have enough work to keep himself busy this year. So we probably won't see Mike, or maybe very little of Mike. We'll see, but I'm pretty confident that Mike's going to be totally out on his own. So I'm super happy for him. That was completely the point. If you guys remember Mike, I sold him my contracts for snow plowing and landscaping. I also sold him some of my equipment, my 3/4 ton. That was a 1 ton pickup truck, my trailer, mowers, and all that stuff. And that was the point. He wanted to be in business. It was just last year he wasn't quite busy enough for himself, so he ended up working for me part time. But this year it looks like he's going to have enough work to keep himself busy. If not, we would see him very little. But I expect he's going to be totally on his own, which was the point to begin with. Does your cement come from Portland? No, it's called Portland cement. I actually don't know why it's called Portland cement. I should look into that. But it comes from all over the place. Victory to Eric in 10 years. No, no, victory's mine. Somebody asked, are you a millionaire? I don't know what like, it really kind of depends on the definition of that. Do I have $1 million liquid in cash? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My beard is getting grayer. I know it has gotten grayer. I was just watching a video. I play a video at the home show. It's from 2 years ago in the spring, and it was definitely not as gray as it is now. And I was thinner back then. Francisco will be back. Eric Bugs. Yeah, pretty much everybody is back, of course, except for Daryl. But I did hire another driver to fill his position. So we're going to have all the same guys back. I did mention earlier in this stream, I know it's been over an hour now, but Francisco hurt his leg at his other job. So there might be a delay in when he starts, because we're starting in 2 weeks. He might not be healed by then. So we'll see. Well, do you think Eric will stay with you all season? I do think he'll stay with me all season, more than likely. Um, I guess I would be a little disappointed if he cut out mid-season on me. I would expect that he would have the respect to stay for a full season, and then if he makes the move to do it next season. So, especially because I'm the one that gives him most of his jobs. So we'll see, though. It's up to him. It's not up to me, you know. What size hoodie? I'm a double extra large tall. The tilt deck trailer. It should be in soon, in another probably a week or two. So all I got to do is pick it up. Why don't you have a Quick Trip rewards card? Because I'm too lazy to take it out every time. That's really, really true. Somebody says, wait till the merch money comes flying in. You're going to be a millionaire. No, definitely not. I know how much merchandise we sold, just from having the banner under the YouTube videos, and it is not a lot of money. I know you guys hear about that, but they're like, oh, guys make so much money selling merchandise. And they're talking about guys like Demolition Ranch and Whistling Diesel and Cletus McFarlane. those guys sell like massive amounts of merchandise and they make tons of money. But I mean, my channel is very, very small compared to theirs, and it's not going to be anything like that. Trust me. I'm going to have one of my daughters ship the stuff, and we'll keep a little supply in the garage. It's very small scale, but I'm hoping that the merchandise will cover, the salary for one of my daughters throughout the summer and pay for itself. I would be happy with that. If it does better than that, that's great. But that's not why, I'm not going to sell merchandise because I want think I'm going to be a millionaire. That's just not how it's going to work. Hey Ryan, I thought you were going to do something with Dirt Monkey after he came to pour concrete with you. Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice, but it's really hard for me and him to coordinate schedules. It's really tough. If you were watch Stan's channel, you'll notice that he travels a lot. He's at like every trade show in the country. So he is all over the country all year long. He is constantly traveling. So for him to actually be in town and me have the opportunity for us to connect in Minnesota just at the right time when a snowstorm is present there in his local area, it's the reality is that that was going to be pretty difficult. Mike's still on the crew still this year. I just answered that, Ryan. You'd have to go back. I just answered that question. Family boat wrap, drone cameras. Joe, I do have a drone and I've used it in some of the videos, but sometimes it's just hard to get the time to get the thing out and fly it. How many more seasons for Bugs? Big Dog, I think he said two. Two more seasons. He is, he's getting a little older now, and he's going to be able to collect Social Security and stuff. And I think that's his plan. But we'll see. Bugs is going to work until Bugs can't work anymore. That's the bottom line because basically that man was built to work, and he's not going to be happy unless he is working. So full time video editor, filmer. Joe, no, we're going to keep doing the same thing we have been. I'm not hiring an editor. It's just going to be me and then my daughter again this summer. Autism awareness, thank you very much. Everybody wants to know how much I make on YouTube. That's just not something that I discuss openly for more than one reason. Um, but yeah, I make good money on social media. I make money on YouTube, and I also make good money on Facebook too. So Facebook brings in a good amount of money, honestly. So I have a company that does the Facebook for me. I partnered with them um, just about a year ago now, and they edit the videos, they put them out, and they basically do all the work on Facebook for me. And we split the profit, whatever the ad revenue they have, we split the profit. So that's been a big help this winter for me as well. That's why Facebook videos aren't necessarily my style. They're not edited the way that I would edit them. They're in no certain order. They do a lot of repetition, and some people don't like that. I get that and all, but it's really not my deal. I don't really have anything to do with it. I gave it to them, and they run that thing completely, and I just am partners with them, and that's it. I have not met Dirt Perfect. I have seen his videos. Yes, I don't know who it is. I don't know him personally, I guess. What company do you use for Facebook? I use Jelly Smack. So Jelly Smack is there's so many companies. Jelly Smack is just one of many that would partner with the right people. So it's by invitation. You don't go to Jelly Smack and say, "Hey, would you do this for me?" That's not how it works. Jelly Smack has a system whereby they're watching for people that they think they can be successful with as partners, and then they reach out to you. So that's kind of how that works. Is they reached out to me. Zach, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Are you gonna come to Canada and Lake Louise? So my wife has been to Lake Louise. She said it was probably the most beautiful place she's ever been in her entire life, and she was able to travel a little bit when she was younger. Um, so yeah, I would like to see it someday. She has pictures of it when she was there, and it is absolutely stunning. Somebody asked here, Nilfinity. I don't know. Have a hard time seeing that. What's your recommendation for buying a quick cut saw? The steels are really good. Um, that's what I've used for many years. I bought one saw after the other. The only problem is they're difficult to start. They're not a great starting saw, but they're very reliable. They're very long lasting. They're impressive saws. You just got to get used to being a pain to start. You got to kind of get down exactly what they like done to them to start them. Even if you like flood them, what you should do to start them. Once you get it down, it's fine. Big Breezy asks if I'm hiring labor with zero experience. I am not. I apologize. I think I have my crew ready to go. The guys that I need. Dennis, what's going on from Indiana? Dennis and Sons Excavating. Thanks for watching. What's up, Ryan? Thoughts on your snowblade you have been using on the Bobcat the past 2 seasons? So I use the Snow Wolf plows, and I've been using them much longer than 2 seasons. I've been using them for, I think, about 18 years or so. I think they were relatively new when the company was relatively new when we started using them. I could be wrong about that, but Snow Wolves are really solid plows. I've never busted one ever, and they're just great plows. They just never fail. They always work. I've never bent one. I've never messed one up. They're just solid, heavy plows. I mentioned that I wanted to try a cage because that's like one of their competitors, the cage plows, and I'm hoping to try one next year, but we'll see. Excavator or skid steer for landscape construction or both? I mean, ultimately, if you're a landscaper, having both would be the best thing to do because you guys are going to do a lot of walls. You're going to do a lot of footings for walls, and having the ability to dig small trenches, it's going to be very helpful to have an excavator. For me, I can dig pretty much everything that we do with the Bobcat. It's efficient and it's very versatile. I can do a lot of different things with it, and it's fast. So I can get by with just renting an excavator every once in a while if I really need one and just using a skid steer. Say a couple words in Spanish. That's about all I know. It's just a few words in Spanish. Scott says the main crew should get easy money tattoos. Probably not a good idea, Scott. Maybe just wear the shirts because you can take those off. Big Breezy say he's 6'10". What a monster. That's a little too tall, man. I have a hard time finding clothes. I'm already in tall sizes. I don't know, like 6'10" is like that's big. That is really tall. Thickness recommendations for residential driveway with garbage, truck traffic, wire mesh, and fiber in the mix. So if it's gonna be like a garbage, uh, basically like dumpster pads where the garbage truck is regularly going to be running over them, I recommend 8 full inches of concrete because those trucks I see them busting up everything all the time. So 8 inches of concrete. I would either use like heavy road mesh or I would use rebar. Rebar, if you go like 2 foot on center, half inch, 2 foot on center, make it super strong. That's what I recommend. 8 inches of concrete. That might be a little excessive, but that's what I would do. Actually, I have one coming up. I sold one recently. A bunch of sidewalks and dumpster pads, dumpster area, I should call it. How long does resurfacing last in the freeze thaw areas? I really couldn't say because I've never really gotten into it, so I'm not sure. What's the trophy for behind you? Oh, that trophy up there, that was a kickboxing tournament in 2011. I was the heavyweight champion, so I got the trophy, and I won $1,000 that night too. I'm not keeping Nathan full time. Nathan actually is already in business for himself. He's doing his own thing. He just agreed to come and help me out in between his own jobs. I would like to, yes, of course, but he's already doing well for himself. Somebody, Mr. Odd and End, said, I started my own YouTube channel, and any advice you can give me to get it to grow? Just be consistent. Try to put out a couple videos a week if you can. And it's really simple with YouTube. It's really simple. If you make good, interesting videos, the algorithm's going to pick it up. It's going to pick up that people are interested in watching them. It's going to spread it more and more and more. So if your videos are good, your videos will be watched. If your videos are terrible, you know, you'll see that because nobody's going to watch them. So make it interesting. It's either you got to give people a reason to watch. It's either got to be educational or entertaining. You know, people aren't just necessarily going to be interested in you as a person, especially if they don't know you. Once they get to know you, yes, they become interested. But you need to have something to give them. You know what I mean? Something of value. Show them something that they didn't know. Something interesting or something funny and entertaining to get their attention, and then things will grow and take off from there. Would you use wire mesh or rebar for a hot tub pad? How thick would you pour the concrete? 5 inches is sufficient for a hot tub pad. You can use wire mesh or rebar. People think hot tubs are super, super heavy and they're just going to bust concrete all up. It's really not that true. It's not that heavy. A hot tub, a 5 inch thick slab with wire mesh will hold a hot tub absolutely no problem. You'll never have an issue with it. You should donate money to school and teachers' funds to better kids with low income families. Easy money. So I do give money. I don't give money to schools or like teachers' funds or anything like that. I do give money to other places though. The plastic hammers, do you think they will work? I don't know, but they are on video. The guy you guys saw when I was at Feral Equipment, I bought the hammers with some type of special urethane head, and they're for driving concrete stakes, the steel stakes. And I just cannot fathom how a plastic hammer is not going to shatter when I'm hitting it full force into a little, 1 inch in diameter, mushroomed out steel concrete pan. I think it's going to bust. I don't think it's going to last. But the guy promised that's what it's for, and he said that they're not going to bust. I'll be using the thing all year, and I won't even have to replace that plastic insert. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll be shocked if it works. Um, but it's a risk to him to say that on a video, and then if it does fail, obviously everybody's going to see it fail. So, but I think that's a good thing. You shouldn't sell stuff that's going to break and advertise that it's going to be good. So I think that's okay. Thank you very much from San Jose. The last time you knocked someone's teeth out, actually, it was like 2011. I've never knocked anybody's teeth out. I never hurt anybody really, really bad kickboxing. I mean, I've hurt people, but I've never hurt anybody like really seriously, and I've never been hurt. I did pretty good. I was hard to hit. I was one of those guys that kind of got away pretty easily, but that was a long time ago. Those days are long past. I think I'd probably get beat up by a little girl right now. What's your record? I only lost one time, and that was just a decision. Are you worried the bags of expanding foam concrete for postals will drive you out of business overnight? No, I don't sell bagged concrete. I don't know. Maybe there's a misconception. So maybe you're talking about like Quickcrete. Um, is I don't know if a lot of you might not know about this, but they basically sell an expanding foam where you can set posts with expanding foam instead of using bagged concrete like a dry mix or mixing it in your wheelbarrow and pouring it into the hole, setting your posts. It's pretty cool stuff. It seems like it does a good job. But I don't sell bag concrete, so that wouldn't put me out of business overnight. It has nothing to do with me, actually. What do you think about partners in business, Connor? I think that you should avoid partners in business if you can. That's my opinion. I have reasons for that, a lot of reasons. So I would avoid that if you can. It's nice not having a partner because then you can make all the decisions. You can take the business in whatever direction that you want to, anytime that you want to. You can scale back, you can scale up, you can make all the decisions without anybody's input. Like you are in charge. And it's just a lot easier if you don't have a partner. What is your opinion on dry pouring concrete? I've seen some videos kind of blowing up on, I don't remember where I saw them, TikTok or something, dry pouring like little slabs of concrete where they're using bag concrete, and then they water, they water the dry mix and then they water it again and kind of finish the surface. um, my opinion is, uh, I think it's pointless. Like I use concrete trucks, so it doesn't make any sense to me. I would, even if I was doing something with bags, if I was pouring like a little air conditioner slab. The point is whatever you're pouring with bags, it's going to be super small anyway. So just mix it in a wheelbarrow and pour it out. I'd have more confidence in that than sprinkling dry mix and finishing the top. You don't know if it's like wet sufficiently all the way through. Maybe that moisture didn't get all the way to the bottom. So I would be apprehensive about trusting that. 52s is not a chain restaurant. That is just a one owner, one restaurant. It's the only restaurant that particular owner owns and runs. He works there. Do you have a contractor's license? There is no contractor license in Wisconsin for the type of work that I do. So you got to have insurance, of course, but there's no contractor license like there is in a lot of other states. Just curious, never heard anything about your father before. It's funny, Ricky, I actually addressed that earlier in this live, but me and my dad have a great relationship. He was in the video where I did the public meetup, and he was in another video where I went to their house and I hung out with him and my stepmom last year. So my dad's still around, and we have a really good relationship. We've had a good relationship forever. Do you still talk to Marcel? I answered that question a little while ago. Yeah, a little bit. He texted me on Thursday, and we talked once or twice during the winter as well. So there's no bad blood. I don't have bad blood with anybody. Actually, I talked to Daryl on the phone twice this week. So I don't really, I don't really have any enemies. I mean, there's people that hate me just like from the internet. There's some wackos out there, but I don't actually have a bad relationship with anybody. Somebody asked if I go to Cravers. Eric, yes, you're talking about in Menominee Falls. It's kind of similar to B52s. They sell similar food. What do I like to get there? It's a Southwest chicken wrap. That's what I usually get when I go there. Yeah, it's a good place to eat too. Football or hockey? What's your favorite? Football, definitely. I never really got into hockey at all. Daryl, no, Daryl's not coming back to work. I just talked to him. There's, like I said, there's no bad blood between us or anything. Do the nylon hammers have enough weight to drive pins? Yeah, they're 4-pound hammers. They're pretty heavy actually for, just a one hand pin driving hammer. So yeah, they're heavy enough. They're not totally plastic, so there's like steel in the middle, and then the nylon or whatever it is, some type of plastic is inserted. So we'll see. But there's very little impact. That's kind of the purpose of why I bought them. Just I wanted to see if they would actually break, because if anybody can break them, it'll be me. And then number two, it felt like they had very little vibration. So pounding pins all day into really hard ground, like your forearm here, you'll start to feel it. You concrete guys know what I'm talking about. So if you can get something with less vibration, I'm all for it. Henley, Louis, no, I can't talk about that. I never will. So you can stop asking. I'm never going to talk about that. Is the buggy in yet, Chris? I don't know. So I was told that I'd have it by the first. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to come through next week at some point with the buggy. Was it a successful Hobby Lobby trip? Yes. Uh, I mentioned this earlier as well. I took my couple of my daughters to Hobby Lobby. So my daughters love to go to, I think ladies in general love Hobby Lobby. There's all kinds of like little decorations and like candles and picture frames and just all kinds of little stuff that ladies love. So my wife and my daughters love Hobby Lobby. So like when they get to go out with me, we usually will go to dinner. We went to Qdoba tonight, and then we went over to Hobby Lobby, and it was successful. A couple picture frames and some jewelry, so they came home happy. And I only spent $26, so I was happy too, to get little gifts for two of my daughters. I don't think that was too bad. Vibra versus Screed board. So Vibra Screeds have their place for sure. Um, I don't even know really what to talk about that. I've used the gas powered. Um, I don't even want to get into that right now. You can use either one. If you can get it flat with a Vibra Strike, go for it. Um, we're just old school. We like to use a screed board. That's why most of the time you'll just see us striking everything off by hand. Henley, thank you very much. Coffee money. Still love my coffee. So far, Quick Trip has not gone bean to cup. When they do, I'm not going to be happy. Something's going to have to give. Are you going to quit using TikTok, JP Drew? That's a good question. I've been considering dropping TikTok for quite some time. I pulled my TikTok account down about a week ago, and I didn't cancel the account. I forgot what they call it. You can put it on pause or something. So you take it down, but you still have the option of putting it back up again. So I didn't cancel it all together because TikTok still owes me money. So I don't want to do that. They owe me like $1,200 or something from the last 2 years. I've never taken it from them. So I put it on pause. The reason that I did that is because TikTok, like whenever I go on there, I want to see what guys are doing or whatever. And like I end up on TikTok and then I scroll and then I scroll again, and I'm wasting time. And I'm like, I finally put my phone down. I'm like, wow, that was really stupid. There was no value in that whatsoever. And I just wasted time. So I put the TikTok app on pause, and I'm probably not bringing it back for a little while because I've really enjoyed not being on the app at all. There's just so much stuff on there that's it keeps your interest enough to keep you on it, so you waste your time, and that's really all it is has been for me is a time waster. It's really offered no benefit to me at all. So, you fighting anyone that tries to talk to Autumn? Yes, I still got it. You never forget that stuff. I still got it. Nah, somebody, the right person will come around for Autumn. You know, I believe that. I believe that God will send the right person at the right time. So I'm not concerned about Autumn finding the right person. I'm just trusting in the one that will bring the right person along. I think that's the best way to say that. Is Nate the Great still great? Yes, he is. He's just a good, solid dude. Like he's a good young guy. Like, he's got hustle. He just gets stuff done. You just tell him to go do something. He doesn't ask you a million questions about it. He doesn't break stuff. He doesn't complain about it. He just like goes over there and I'll start working on something. And then he comes over, he's like, okay, that's done. What's next? I'm not used to that. So it's very refreshing to have somebody that you just tell them to go do something and you don't have to tell them anything else. They just come back and it's like, okay, that's done. Yeah, I hope he does come and pour concrete at least like, just once because I think he would love it, find it interesting. So he's welcome to do that. Did the CDL position get filled? Yes, I do have a CDL driver. He's ready to go. No, I'm not giving Hannah the Mustang. Definitely not, Josh. Five girls equals five weddings. Poor Ryan. Come on, Chris. You only gave me $1.99. Come on. Yeah, I know. the weddings, the weddings. I'm gonna cry like a little girl when my first daughter gets married, when Autumn gets married, if it's Autumn. I'm not gonna make it through. I'm gonna be a mess. I can guarantee you that. Thank you, Mr. Torres. Eddie, right now I don't need a finisher. I think we're gonna be okay right now. How far away are you to the gold plated YouTube plaque? So Kevin, you only get there's only two plaques. So it's the 100,000 subscriber, which is a silver, and then the million subscriber plaque is gold, and I'm far like light years away from a million. So I don't really think about that. You need a shop dog. No, I don't need any more responsibility. I mean, I like dogs. I just don't want to deal with that. Some of the questions I can't even repeat. Best employee story. I'd have to think about that. I don't have anything just on the top of my head. Do you know how funny it is when you say Eric is edging? It's funny when you say the word edging. Okay, there's probably some type of innuendo there that I'm not aware of. I've never heard of, but okay. So, still gonna continue to call it edging because you edge concrete. Sorry, that's what you do. I do like tacos. It's some of my favorite food. Ryan, you will be broke from all the weddings you will have to pay for. Yeah, that's possible. I'm saving up though. Why don't you use wheelbarrows with two tires? I don't know. I just have never really tried them. I'm old school. I like my old school wheelbarrows. I just bought two new wheelbarrows from Farrell. Have you ever been to the EA Oshkosh? So you're talking about the fly-in. I've been by it when it's been going on, but I've never been there. The last time I drove by, it was going on, and I was blown away at the amount of cars and tents and campers there. It was astonishing the number of people that were there. I don't know what the attendance is. So he's talking about a fly-in. It's one of the biggest fly-ins in the world. And it's in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And no, I've never been there. Eric, thank you very much, but I do want to go there. What interests me about flying is I like the jets. Honestly, like the sound of the power of the jet engines is awesome. There's nothing like it. Thank you, Eric, for the coffee. I appreciate that, man. Bill, Bill, I don't know, talking about cults and stuff like that. What's your advice for being a hypocrite and psychopaths in the world? I don't even understand your question. How did you create the contract you have your customer sign? So there's a lot of good stuff online you can find, but honestly, experience will kind of guide you in that too. So you can start out with maybe like a template, and then you can add to that as you learn different angles and stuff that customers will take to try to take advantage of you. So you'll learn as you go, and you'll add stuff to try to protect yourself in the future. Thank you, Jimmy. Am I going to go to Hawaii for concrete? No, but it's on the bucket list going to Hawaii with my wife. We both really want to go there someday. Obviously, now is not the right time, but I really, really want to see Hawaii sometime in my life. How do you wake up early? What's your trick, Ryan? Um, I don't have a choice. There's stuff to do every day. There's a lot of stuff to do every day. You don't have the luxury of like sleeping in. Like you have to wake up because you need those hours. In the wintertime, like now, I wake up later than I do in the summer. But when the season starts, it's not an option. Like you have to get up. Absolutely nothing wrong with a few tears. Proof coming from a 50 or 54-year-old manly man. Yeah, I get emotional sometimes. Of course I do. Like I think honestly, I think guys that like have never shed a tear, I think there's maybe something wrong with them. Like there should be some like empathy and you should feel sadness and you should care to the point where you get a little emotional over some stuff once in a while. I mean, not a crybaby or anything like that. We're crying over like if you guys remember Brett Favre, he was a quarterback, he was a great quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, but man, that guy was a crybaby. He cried about every time he talked about retirement, he'd be crying his eyes out. Um, is Daryl still dating your mom, Ryan? D, that is so stupid. Like, why would you even come on here and talk so stupid like that? Like, I wonder how old people are that make comments like that. Like, how old are you, D? Say that in your next comment. How old are you? Like, what's your maturity level that you would say something so stupid? Why do you find that like entertaining to say things so stupid? It doesn't bother me. It's just always like, I always wonder like how some people can say things like that. Brett Favre scammed for millions. Henry, it actually does look like he could be in trouble for some of the stuff that he did. So he was a great quarterback, though. He was a really good quarterback. Towards the end of his career, he was like very interception prone, but he was a great quarterback. I'm not saying anything negative about him. I was just talking about like his emotional side. Is 48 too old to learn concrete? I don't know what you mean about learn concrete. It's never too old to learn about concrete. I mean, if you're going to become a concrete finisher at 48, it just depends on your life situation. You know what I mean? And what you're doing now, what your situation is now. If you have a great job in the corporate world or, you're making money and doing this or that, I wouldn't recommend that you start out as a laborer in concrete at 48. Absolutely not. But if you're still at a job not making much money, yeah, get into construction and make as much money as you can. If you're 48, you don't, you have a lot less time than you do if you were like 28. Become part owners of B52. Big hands? Absolutely not. I heard the restaurant business is very difficult. It's hard to turn a profit. You have to have a lot of employees, which I already know the issues that comes with that. So I would not ever want to get into the restaurant business or be partners in a restaurant business or anything like that. I do still have the family boat, Keith. It is in heated storage. It is ready to go. Is 93 too old to finish? No, I don't think so. Uh, Ed, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Bugs got his name from his parents. I guess when he was just a little toddler, or whatever, he used to crawl around. And his parents said he would crawl around like I think it was mom. I don't know if it was mom or dad or whatever. I think he said his mom, but she started calling him Bugs because he reminded her of a bug. So that's how he got that nickname. What the concrete finishers make in Milwaukee, so like $28 to $35 an hour or something in there. What happened to the old compactor Daryl broke? Nelson, Daryl didn't actually break it. It just broke while he was using it or whatever, but it's still sitting at the yard. What are your plans for tomorrow? Tomorrow is Sunday. So typically every Sunday I get up, I get ready for church, and I take at least two of my daughters to church. I go straight to the kitchen. I make waffles for my Sunday school group. I've been doing that for years. And so I make coffee, I make waffles, and get everything ready. So when everybody comes in, they can have something to eat and some coffee. And then I go to a men's Bible study, go to the church service. Then we usually will have a lunch together at home. And then at night, we go back to church at 6 o'clock for the night service. Tomorrow and last Sunday, I have the home show. So I'll be at the State Fair Exposition Center for just a couple hours, few hours, and then my mom's going to come and relieve me. So tomorrow's a little bit different, but that's typically what my Sundays are like. I try never to work on Sundays. If I ever do anything, it would be something on the computer that I just have to do, like finish a contract for Monday morning or something. But I try to get a nap or some rest Sunday afternoon from the after lunch until it's time to go back to church. So if I don't get a nap on Sundays during the summertime, it's kind of weird. It throws my schedule off, and I'm pretty crabby then. Does that show have mowers and tractors? Mark, I wouldn't come there if you're expecting that. I think there's maybe one. mower manufacturer, but it's not really an equipment show. It's more of a show for contractors to show off what they do to potential clients. So there's a lot of landscapers and there's some concrete guys, obviously, and all types of home improvement, windows and roofs and all that kind of stuff. So don't come down or don't come up here from Illinois if you're expecting to see equipment because there's very little. How do you handle stress? Honestly, I'm pretty good at handling stress. So I typically start eating more, which is why you see me gain weight and then I lose weight and I gain weight because that is um, unfortunately one of the ways that I deal with anxiety. The other way is I have learned to deal with it. As you go through stressful situations in your life, you get better at handling stress. So when you're starting out, like everything can stress you out, but you learn over time that things that you worry about usually never really turn into the worst case, like what you have been worrying about, and you just deal with stuff. And not a lot of stuff bothers you to the point where you can't sleep anymore. Even with the lady, so I got the lady now. She's mad. It's probably going to turn into a lawsuit. It's a big driveway. It's going to cost me a lot of money if I have to tear it out or pay somebody else to tear it out and redo it. Going to court is a ton of time. I am not stressed about it because I know that it's not going to put me out of business. It's not the end of the world, and things are going to move on after that. So I could be really stressed about it, but I'm not. Brad says he is 23 years old, running a business. The guidance, discipline, along with the motivation through the videos is very much appreciated. Didn't have a father growing up, so thank you, Ryan. Well, thank you, Brad, for that. That is encouraging to me. Let Eric vlog. I don't know what that means. Noel. Eric is actually already doing his own YouTube channel. When you come into the Smoky Mountains, North Carolina, so I was there once, Kevin. Oh, I forgot the name of the town. My wife and I vacationed there many years ago, and I forgot the name of the town, but I was there and it was beautiful. We rented a cabin for like 4 or 5 days. What's your favorite place in Michigan? I really don't know that I have a favorite place. We were there. Um, we went through Detroit and St. Clair Shores, I think is the name of the town where I stayed with my friend Brendan. Uh, but I don't know that I have a favorite place. I was only there for 1 week. Eric's YouTube is Easy E Concrete. Somebody said I wasn't letting him make a YouTube. He has a YouTube. I've actually encouraged him. I even bought him his GoPro so he could do his YouTube channel. So I don't know why somebody would say I have a problem. I actually encourage it, and I've helped him along. Kyle, I do not drink. I do not drink. So drinking alcohol, I know a lot of people enjoy it and all that stuff, but it's just not for me. I've talked about it before. Do you ever do curb? Not very often. Every once in a while. No, nothing like large scale curbing. Absolutely not. Austin, it's not the staircase lady. It's somebody else. What's up, AP? I'm doing fine. My voice is starting to go, so I'm gonna have to wrap this up again pretty soon here. Going on an hour and 45 minutes. Did Eric fix his monetization? Eric, yeah, that was only very temporary. It was back on right away. Is it true you plan to fire Eric? Oh, there's D again, the guy that starts rumors and says stupid stuff. Same guy. Was the lawsuit filmed? Chris, there's no lawsuit yet. I'm just expecting that. I'm not expecting it. I'm thinking it might head there eventually, but I'm gonna try to avoid it. I'm trying to do things to make her happy and be reasonable. But yeah, that's a good idea. Where's D? I'll just get rid of him. Where is he? Hide user from channel. Okay, bye D. Since you're so stupid, we don't need your stupidity. All right, where are we now? I can't remember the name of the town in the Smoky Mountains. No, it was not called Townsend. I will upload a couple videos this week, I promise. Yeah, Patrick, it's just not that big of a live stream. I can kind of, and honestly, there's very like my you guys, the audience, like the whole comment section, it's been like astonishingly positive. So I don't have a lot of problems with it. So I don't like need a moderator if you're gonna have a whole ton of people saying stupid stuff. So I don't really need that because you guys are like predominantly awesome, honestly. Do you do a lot of stretching to keep your body healthy since concrete is so physically demanding? Jimmy, the only thing I've been stretching this winter is my stomach, to be completely honest. Um, I don't really stretch. You know, once you start moving in the morning, you get warmed up and you're fine. It's not like working out, you know, you're not you're not like going to bench press, 400 pounds or something. It's all kind of moderate weightlifting or lifting of concrete and stuff. You're not going like for a world record or anything. So Bugs stretches before we pour, but I don't. But Bugs is also 63 years old. I always thought it was funny to have whole construction sites have a morning meeting and a stretch. So I'm not a big fan of meetings. I understand safety meetings, like on big construction sites. I understand the importance of that, but when you have six guys, you're basically around each other all day long. There's no reason to have a meeting. Like I can just talk to you anytime that I want. You're standing like 20 or 30 feet away at the most. So no reason for meetings. I'm not going to give the guys motivational speeches in the morning. Not necessary. I know other companies and stuff, they like to do that kind of stuff or whatever, but I'm there all day, so I'll motivate you if you really need it. What's up? Happy birthday, Nicholas Chandler. Thank you for watching. Spiration, I hope that's how you say it. I've been a fan for a few years. I'm excited to see where your company goes. What kind of church do you go to? I go to a Baptist church. And did you have a saving experience there? No, no, I wasn't at the church. Do I have a life verse? I'd have to think about that. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. Do you watch Your Honor on Showtime? I've actually never heard of that. Apparently, that's a TV show. Saudi Arabia, what's up, Dave? Very few people ever comment from the Middle East. I don't think YouTube spreads videos of ours to the Middle East much. It's probably a predominantly a language thing, but who knows? Tattoo your beard so you don't lose it. I don't think I'm going to lose my beard. It just turned colors on me. I'm getting old. Do you watch Yellowstone? No, I've heard about Yellowstone. It's apparently super popular. Uh, I honestly just I had a hard time sitting down and watching something for like a long period of time like that. Ryan, why don't you use a surveyor control in your concrete work? That may be another way of saying a laser transit. So we do use a laser transit. It's been on at least a few videos us using a laser. You'll see more of it this year. Um, why do I go to church? A lot of church, a lot of church questions. Um, I go to church. Well, there's a lot of reasons I go to church, but one of the reasons is because I love being around other people that believe the way that I do. Church is a huge encouragement. It's a challenge. We have a great pastor who challenges us from the Bible to make good decisions, to do right. It's a place to kind of reflect and see and measure your faith and how you're doing. We do Bible studies. We learn a lot of the decisions that I make and just what guides my life, those are the principles. That's the biblical principles by which I live by. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I have a lot of problems and issues. Um, that's how I, that's how I, that's where I get my direction from. Nature Stuff says, I believe in God, but don't go to church. I would encourage you to try to find a Bible believing church, a good Bible believing church. Hopefully, there's one in your area, and I think if you start going to church, you realize that you'd enjoy it, and it would be really healthy for you. So you don't have to go to church to be a believer, but the Bible actually says that we shouldn't forsake the assembling of ourselves one with another. So we should be together as Christians in a church. So, but that's enough about that. Answer some more questions here. Siggy says, all the best from Iceland. Always love your videos. I'm a programmer, but this is my favorite YouTube channel. Thank you very much. He gave me 1,500 ISKs. I don't know what that is. I don't know I don't know what that is. Can you explain that to me? What type of money do you guys use? So they're not in dollars, they're in ISKs, which is something I've never heard of. How are you aging so well working under the sun? I'm 46. I'm partially Italian, so my skin is darker naturally. Germans, they have lighter skin, they burn, they get more sunspots and so forth. I think it's partially just like your genetics. Some guys are all wrinkled up by their mid 40s. I'm not, I mean, I have some wrinkles. I'm not, oh, I got a haircut, by the way. I'm not all wrinkled up yet. I'm not leather skinned yet, and it's just genetics, but I don't really think that I look that young, honestly. I feel like I'm looking kind of old. Okay, somebody said 1,500 Icelandic krona. It equals $11.05 United States dollar. I have never heard of the krona. I'm probably not even saying that right. It's the Iceland dollar. That's cool. Start a podcast. I don't know about that. Um, Maybe in the future, but not anytime soon. Is Daniel going to run the business someday? Dude's got a great work ethic. Yeah, Ryan's not going to run the business. And honestly, Ryan's going to be pretty well grown by the time I'm going to work for quite a while yet. So Daniel would probably be about the age of when I want to retire that he could take over the business. But who knows? I don't. I actually talked to Daniel about that this morning. He's 6 years old, and I said, Daniel, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he says, I don't know. And then, yeah, he still doesn't know. He's 6 years old. How's he gonna know? Castaway Adventures. Yes, the merch store is coming up soon. The website is all done. It's all approved. It's ready to go. It's just I'm waiting for the embroidery guy and my screen print guy to get my stuff done, and then we're good to go. Your wife ever been to work with you? No. I mean, she's been around the job sites, but she's never like helped me do concrete or anything like that. We started having kids like soon after we got married, so she's been really busy raising the kids since we've been together. This is like a podcast. That's true, but with a podcast, typically you'd bring on guests, and there would be some topics for discussion. And I don't know. I don't think I would want to deal with that scheduling and try to get people to come and do the podcast with you and stuff. It's just more work. Have you ever considered a mini excavator? Yes, I have considered it. Just not something that I need much, so I've never really seriously considered buying one. Everyone in the house is trying to sleep, but Ryan won't stop talking so loud in the office. Chris, you're probably right about. Oh, it's pretty late. It's 10:37. I'm gonna get out of here pretty soon. Honestly, I keep saying that. Any more kiddos in the works? No. Who's that dude? No, no. We're a little too old for that. No, I don't do any work in and around Chicago. We really just I am a hardscaper. Man, I wonder if I still have your hat around. Your hat's been in my office for a long time. I yes, sir. I do get asked to come on podcasts like quite often. So far, I've only been on one, and that was with Tim DVCA. So, have you talked to the guy for the CDL job? Yes, Ryan. I have hired a CDL driver, so we're all set. Are you ever going to tune the 7.3 Four Daughters Transport? Yes, I've been considering that. I'd like to do a because they are slow. The 7.3 is stock. They are dogs. I would like to put a tuner in it, an exhaust, and an intake. Just put like a toe tune. I think it's 60 horsepower. The one I was looking at. So even 60 horsepower with an exhaust and intake, I think that would give it just a little bit of extra, where it wouldn't be such a dog. I have considered. I actually got an estimate for it. It was like 2,500 bucks or something like that. I never did it, but I still would like to do it, especially now it's getting the 7.3 is at the shop. It's getting wrapped. I should get it back next week sometime. And I'm thinking about it. So right now, I don't know. We'll see. When you're coming over to Australia, Dale, I would love to come to Australia. That is another place I would like to go. It's on my bucket list. DTS, if I drink alcohol, I do not drink any alcohol whatsoever. What is your all-time favorite car? So I guess I'll answer that like this. If I could buy any car right now, I'm not talking about a supercar. I'm talking about like in the realm of realistic. I would buy probably the Hellcat. Uh, you know, the Demon maybe. Hellcat's a pretty nice car. I like the GT 500, but realistically, I think the Dodge would be a bigger car. It would fit me better. So supercars, they're just it's not really realistic to buy a three or $400,000 car. There's so many other things I could spend money on. Have you watched Daryl the Destroyer's channel yet? Yes, I have. I watched a couple of his videos. He's got a little work to do still. The skid loader is not wrapped yet. No. Too many YouTubers do podcasts. Justin, I think that a lot of them do well. I'm not really sure. Ryan Jr. still joining full time. Yeah, he's going to be working full time with us this summer. About May 15th, him and Autumn will be out of school, and then they'll come and work with me. You versus Daryl boxing. Classic toast that would be very boring. It would only last a few seconds, and I would probably get sued for a serious injury. And I only say that because, like I said earlier, there's nothing between us. I just talked to him on the phone yesterday. Yesterday, I talked to him, and Thursday, I talked to him 2 days in a row. There's nothing between us, so he's just gonna go do his own thing, and I'm gonna keep doing mine. Don't worry, you'll be on Joe Rogan once he finds your channel. Yeah, right. I don't think so. Macedonia. I'm not sure where Macedonia is. The Middle East somewhere. I have to look that up. I know where a lot of stuff is, but I don't know where that is. I apologize. Somebody said, "Did you say you still talk to Daryl?" Yes, I do. Northern Greece. Okay, there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Rogan would absolutely not have me on. I know some of you think I'm an interesting person and stuff like that, but I'm really not like on the level of being on a Joe Rogan podcast. It's got one of the biggest podcasts in the world. So I feel like I know those guys like Joe Rogan and Dana White from the UFC. What was my first car? I had a Ford Escort EXP, which was like an Escort, um, but it was a like a sports car edition, and it was a piece of junk. It broke after I had it for like maybe 3 months. The transmission blew up. It was a stick shift. It was my first car, and it was terrible, terrible. It broke right away. All right, guys. My voice is honestly, it's a favorite diesel engine. So the DT5, if you're talking about a bigger engine, I have a DT530 in my international dump truck. The DT466, those are really good, like legendary motors, and obviously the 7.3 that I have in the Ford would be my favorite diesel engine, of course. What do you collect? I don't really. collect anything except all the stuff that you see behind me. This is the stuff that has been sent to me from you guys. I got all kinds of stuff back there, signs. I got a lot of patches. Um, Let me find something once. Where did that go? I just oh, here it is. It's like this kind of stuff. Somebody just sent me this. This was an investigative supervisor from the Nazareth Police Department in PA. So he sent me his badge, and these are really cool. Like I love getting badges. I don't know why. I just think they're so cool. So I got a lot of badges back here. You guys can see that. I got a bunch of them back here. Police badges, first responders. This one. This is cool. This is one of my faves. This is, I don't know if you can see that, the New York City Department of Sanitation. How much garbage do they make in New York? That's a question we need answered right there. And then this is another patch. This is from 9/11. Department of Sanitation has a special patch from New York City. Very cool. So patches I love. So that's the kind of stuff I like to collect. And then this one here, this was one of my favorites. This was from the Berlin Wall. This is an actual piece of concrete from the Berlin Wall that somebody had sent me, which was really, really cool. I'm not going to take it out of there, but wow, it's really hard to see. But that colored concrete that's been colored on, it's a real piece of the Berlin Wall. Somebody said the Cummins N14 for my favorite. We need hints on the big news coming up this week. I'll tell you guys. Do you collect hats? Well, hats are a part of what, I don't know if you can see them way back there in the corner, but I have a bunch of hats from different contractors and companies from all around the world. So, yeah, they're part of the collection, I guess, of what people send me. Favorite pew pew? That's going to be difficult to explain using coded language. Uh, I can't talk about it. Will Best Mom Mondays be back this year? Absolutely, Chris. My mom's looking forward to it. I am pumped about it. She was just asking about it today. Like, when do you guys want your first Best Mom Monday? Because our season is right around the corner, just in a couple weeks. So, end of April, she will be back at it, bringing us lunches. I'm looking forward to it. Any thoughts on a second crew, Michael? I used to have more than one crew back in the day, and I am not wanting to go there again. It's just going to be the same thing that I've been doing for several years now. Me and my one crew. It's manageable. I like it. It's profitable. It's not super stressful. I have more than enough equipment. Even if we have stuff that breaks down, I have some redundancy. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. It takes just the right people to run extra crews and still be profitable on that second crew without the owner being there. So I'm just going to keep it the way that I'm going. The Tram fam, hello from Fort Wayne, Indiana. What's going on? Juan Martinez asked if I watch the UFC. I used to watch the UFC a lot. I used to watch a lot of the fights. We used to get the pay-per-views. I was really into that. That was like back when I used to fight kickboxing. Like I was into that. I was part of a gym where we had professional fighters, mixed martial artists. So I would go to local events. Excuse me. And I was fighting kickboxing at the time. So I was really into all that stuff. I really don't watch too much of it anymore. And the ones that I do are just reruns on UFC. I don't like pay per view stuff, anything like that anymore. I hear you. We have 5 crews. Michael, I used to have 4, so I know what it's like. It's difficult, man. Props to you. A lot of respect if you can keep that going. Biggest bass caught. So my biggest bass ever, Philip, was about close to 7 pounds. And the guys down south are like, 7 pounds, whatever. But for up here in Wisconsin, 7 pounds is a real trophy. So I've caught several 6-pounders, a 7-pounder. I've caught some pretty big fish, but I don't fish as much as I used to. I used to fish a lot. Do you think Eric will leave victory this year? Matthew, I think he will not leave victory this year, although it's possible. You never know. But I would say, like, he'll probably do it in between seasons when he does do it, more than likely. How is the Mustang? Mustang's fine. It is in storage right now. Daryl Jr., 23. Hey, Ryan, that is not actually Daryl because I know uh, Daryl's little icon thing, and that's not it. But good try. Good try. Steve actually had an idea. Um, I have a really good friend. He's a pastor in Western Wisconsin. And what I was thinking of doing is he's got a great testimony and he's a real preacher. And he is the background is that he had was very interesting. So I was thinking about having him come on. I haven't asked him. I know he would do it. I was going to see if he would come on and give his testimony and give a gospel message. So I've been thinking about that. Was school easy for you, Billy? Um, School was not interesting for me, so I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like being there. The only part I liked about it is being with my friends, with like a lot of kids do. The fun that we would have as far as the learning goes. I just was very disinterested. I didn't do great in school. I mean, I passed school and all that. I just didn't. I didn't really try. My parents didn't motivate me. They didn't. Um, I'm not going to say they didn't care, but they never. They didn't. They didn't encourage me to get good grades. It's just I was just there. So I passed, but I didn't like it. New video tomorrow? No, but I will put out a couple this week. I promise. Have you ever installed pavers before? No, I have not. Who still works for you? All the same guys, except I hired a new driver instead of Daryl. Cement shortages are going to be real this year, plus much higher limestone content. So the limestone content that already started last year, Shaka. So that'll be similar. Everybody was on limestone cement, whether you knew it or not last year. That's all you could get. That's all that was available. So the cement you were getting was already had a higher percentage of limestone in it. The shortage, they did say that is a real possibility again this year. Matt, yes, I golfed all through high school except for my senior year. Um, I did something stupid my senior year and I didn't golf. So the first 3 years of high school, I played on the team. After high school, I played on a men's league for a couple of years in Oak Creek, and I was pretty good. I was a six handicap. That was the best I ever got to. But a six handicap is pretty good. You keep in the winter shop? Yes, sir. I will keep the winter shop all year long until something better comes along. But I'm not giving that up. I mean, I pretty much moved in there now. The new tool, all the toolboxes and all the stuff I have in there. Like not having a shop is no longer an option for me. So I will keep a shop now until probably the end of my career, if things continue to go well. So that's the caveat, obviously, if things continue to go well, because renting is very expensive, of course. Have you ever thought about buying MacGyver's property or part of his property? I talked to him about it, um, and he's not really ready to sell. He really loves that place. He loves working in there, and he may sell it someday, but I can't see him. He loves to mess with stuff and weld. That's why his nickname is MacGyver. He's always fixing stuff, so he's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to sell that place. Do you own any pew pews? Yes, a bunch of them, but I don't really talk about them on social media for more than one reason. Thank you. Steve says I have a beautiful family. I appreciate that very much. Do you like Goodwill? Yes, Scott. My family, meaning um, my kids and my wife, they actually go to Goodwill. I think a couple times a month. They get a bunch of stuff there. Michael, I'm not going to move everything over there. There's not enough room. It's all mud. It's a mud pit. It's a disaster, and it's too far for all of us to go to every morning. It's like I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes away from the current yard in the wrong direction. So every single day we'd be spending an extra, half an hour, 40 minutes, or whatever, just traveling, and that adds up to be a lot of time over the course of the summer. FaceTime Junior, not right now. It's a little late. Thoughts on the recent school shooting? My thoughts are probably similar to yours. I have a lot of thoughts. It's very discouraging. Does YouTube get overwhelming, Cole? Yes, it does. At times, everything gets overwhelming at times. I mean, there's just so much going on all the time. Things can get overwhelming. Yes, sir. So, what time is it there? It is almost 11 o'clock. Once it hits 11, I am done because my voice is just about gone. A few of you have dropped off already. It's getting to be a super long stream, and I'm losing my energy. Go get some sleep. Yes, sir. Austin, thank you very much. 16 years old. I talked to you at the home show last Sunday with the landscaping business. I want to wish you good luck this season. Thank you very much, Austin. Hello, Ryan from Winkler. Steven and Samantha, always enjoy watching you. Thank you very much. Any advice? Just had my first child, a little girl. First of all, Brett, congratulations. Advice. So, you want my advice on raising a little girl? Um, just love her. Just love her. It's just going to come natural, honestly. It's hard at first having your first kid because it's a baby, everything's brand new, but you'll get used to it, and you'll be an awesome dad in no time at all. Trust me. Ryan, can you be my uncle? Sorry, Michael, not today. Have you ever worked with Oosberg Concrete? I have not, but I see those guys quite a bit. They do primarily foundations for a lot of new construction houses around here. I see those guys constantly driving down here doing work. What's the furthest you go in your area? Cedarburg. Will, I do go to Cedarburg, but it has to be a substantial size job. I would say a $15,000 plus job to go to Cedarburg because it is right on like the edge of our work radius. Lawton says, adopt me, and he gave me $1.99. I'm sorry, not today. But thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for following along. Catch a Predator says, creepy. You may just be talking about your name. Do you work in Milwaukee? Yes, I do. Um, you should sponsor a drag racing car, buy a car, find a dealer. Victory, it's like the ideas write themselves. Yeah, I do actually get asked to sponsor race cars quite a bit. I probably had 10 people ask me to sponsor their race car last year. I did not. Also, I guess a thing too is sponsoring like internet race cars. There's like very realistic simulated race events, I guess. So I've been asked to sponsor those as well, but I have not. As far as the race cars go, I just don't think there would be much benefit to sponsoring a race car where it's like a very low level um, race circuit that's not really seen by anybody. It would be more of just me like helping somebody out to pay for the race season. So I don't know that that's like the best way to spend money. I'd rather give my money to like a charity than just some race car driver because he needs money for new rings on his pistons or whatever. So now, if there was like a major race car where like a lot of people would see it, I would consider it. Obviously, be more expensive for me, but there would be some benefit in it for me too. Is the rower getting any use? My wife would never allow that in the bedroom. Chris, I have a very tolerant wife, very good wife. I understand what you're saying. It is getting used, yes. Dakota, I'll explain that. And I'd like to talk more about that. Maybe I'll just do a stream about that. Blood, sweat, and tears. How's Arizona, man? If you were to buy one set of stamps, which would you get? That's an easy answer. That would be the Ashler Slate, the big ones. So not the like the 3x3s. Get the big whatever they are, almost 5 foot by 5 foot or 4 foot by 4 foot. The large ashlar slate is by far the most popular stamp. It always turns out crisp. It's easy to use. You can cover a lot of square footage with it, but definitely the large ashlar slate. So I got the brick form right now, um, and I'm not going to tell you what else I got. I got some more stamps that I'll be showing you guys in some videos, but I did buy some new stuff. All right, that is it. It's 11 o'clock. It's 10:59. I'm out of energy and I'm tired. It's super late. So it was cool hanging out with you guys. Like I said, I just jumped on this channel because I really didn't know, um, really had no idea how YouTube was going to treat this channel because I haven't uploaded any videos to this channel in a long time. I know there's like some conspiracies going around that I lost the channel or there was some lawsuit. Like people make up so much crazy stuff. But anyways, no, that's not the case. There's nothing going on with this channel. I just don't have any content for it. But we will do it again. All right. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it all. I'll see you guys. I'm going to put out, like I said, I promise I'll put out at least 2 videos next week, and I will explain what I'm talking about when I say I have exciting news. Lon, thank you very much, man. Have a good night.